and welcome to another edition of The Box Seat for Wednesday the 10th of September. So we're nearing spring. I'm Larry Foley from Singapore. I'm with Adam McGrath as usual. Morning, Adam.
Morning, Larry. How are you?
Good. Spring is in the air, and if you hear any knocking, don't adjust your TV sets, but there's hammering being done at Ascot as we prepare for Ascot racing. So it's all happening around here. But racing on Wednesday, 8 races. The track is out 18 metres. The weather is in 4 letters, Adam.
Yeah, wet, raining.
Yeah,
that's not forced.
No,
it's been rain.
Absolutely Scheisen Heisen, as they say in the classics. No, but it's been terrible weather in Perth, but not a lot of rain. It's more so the big wind. So again, have a look at the website www.perthracing.com for updates. The cutaways in the straight, so it should make for some really interesting racing on Wednesday. But firstly, Saturday, big day, ups and downs. Firstly, the downs.
Yeah, sadly, we lost a very good horse in Trade Down. I think it was race 4 on Saturday, and Trade Down with Patrick Carberry riding. They were coming up quite quickly. It was the favourite, showing a nice turn of foot again, and just got stuck in traffic, and sadly broke the front leg and had to be humanely euthanised on course.
Unfortunately, these things happen in racing, happens all around the world, but it's good to see the jockeys back riding on Wednesday, Paddy Carberry.
Yeah, had a chat with Paddy Carberry on Saturday night, and he was okay, just a bit of a slight concussion, headache, and obviously quite upset. It was a horse that he was very fond of and had done a lot of work with, so he was quite upset by that, but as you said, good to see that he's back and that he was okay. Yep.
Now the winner in that race, Ben Patterson, back with a win, 100-1 winner on Drive West.
Yeah, very good win for him. His first ever city win as a senior rider, so he was very excited about that. 100-1. Can't complain with those odds either.
And just explain, it's a big jump from having a claim, and you're hot. The trainers want you. It's like Lucy Warwick with her 2 kilos now, and then the phones stop calling when you lose your claim. Again, that happens all around the world.
Yeah,
as well.
It is really tough, and it's something that Ben's been working on a fair bit. So he was very appreciative to get the rides, and he made the most of his opportunity sneaking up on the rail, but it's something that all the jockeys go through, and we look at someone like even Jared Noski, I guess at the moment we'll talk about him with Rock Magic, but he was someone who struggled as well making that crossover, and look at how he's going now. So yeah, it's just something that all the jockeys have to go through, don't they? Well,
go to Rock Magic, terrific winner. That's how many straight?
4.
4 straight.
Yeah, 4 and a second since racing over here in the West. And to tell you, this horse, I wrote an article about it on Saturday, and I said, being on Belmont Park when Rock Magic wins is like being at the MCG when the Tigers get up, and the roar around these people.
Not
at Punt Road when they're at Adelaide Oval, was it? That was a dismal effort in the AFL on Saturday. But it's just what racing is about as well, and it's what you mentioned, the highs and lows of racing. We had the passing of Trade Down, but then we have a race like that where you can hear owners just screaming and jumping around, and there's about 20 of them, so they're very loud, very vocal. But that's what racing can be about. It can, give dreams to many people as well. So we did see the up there as well.
Another jockey on the comeback, Alan Kennedy, who had a little stint as a trainer, came back to being a jockey.
Yeah, rode Flying Time up to victory in the last there, and he was basically told, mate, you're too young to be doing this caper, get back your fitness and get back on board, and I'll give you some rides. And Lindsay did that, and Alan Kennedy saluted for his first Saturday back, so that was good to see as well.
Yep, and over in Melbourne, the world's best sprinter got beat, so nothing's certainty in this game.
No, definitely not. $1.22 it went at it and couldn't get the job done.
Well, let's see if we can find a certainty for today, or at least a good thing. Race 1 on the card, it's scheduled for 12:50. It's Australia Race 2 on the Singapore race card. It's for 3-year-olds. It's the West Speed 3-year-old handicap. It's over 1,000 metres. We'll go straight to the videos and Card Up Legend when beating Barricade Beats on Wednesday, August 27th.
Led them for home from You Should Do It. Card Up Legend down on the rail. Ripper Red coming down the outside with the red cap. Regal Princess. So who's Harry going back towards the cutaway. And Kenza Star running around a little. Making up some headway though. But Barricade Beat with 150 to go. Card Up Legend joined it. Card Up Legend down on the inside and Barricade Beat. Card Up Legend hits the front from Barricade Beat. They went to the line. Card Up Legend.
Impressive victory there from Card Up Legend. Jumped well positioned in third and then fought nicely down the straight to beat Barricade Beats, who will race again in this race. Card Up Legend goes from 59 down to 58. Barricade Beats from 59 to 57, so does have the weight swing there. But for Card Up Legend, jumping from barrier 1 will hope to show enough speed to be able to hold out the rest, and then we saw that fight late. I think it'll be much better for that run as well. So I think Card Up Legend is going to be very tough to beat. I've got the same order here, 1 from 2. Barricade Beats to finish second. I was still impressed with its run. It showed improvement and will enjoy the 57 kilos. From number 9, which is Oradole, that's back as well. It showed enough in the last campaign for me, for Daniel Morton. Chris Pardham riding, claiming 1.5, so it'll be the 53.5 kilos, and it won a recent trial on the 1st of September as well, and it was a good type. And then number 11, a horse I think will show a bit as well, Jimmy's Lass for Simon Miller, Peter Nucky riding. I would like this trial as well, so I think it'll be a horse to follow going forward. So 1, 2, 9, 11 for me. I think Card Up Legend can make it 2 wins in a row.
Well, being a Wednesday, it's at Puntathons, our Singapore Perth tipster for this. Number 8, Joyful Hope. Guess who's riding?
Willie Pike.
Willie
Grant
Pike.
Williams.
Went very fast on debut. Fresh and had a quiet trial. So Puntathon loves the trials. He follows it on the perthracing.com.au where he's a member. Had a quiet trial. So Willie Pike in the first, Joyful Hope. Race 2 on the card is the West Speed 3-year-old handicap. It's scheduled for 1:25 p.m. It's Australia race 4 on the Singapore race card. It's over 1,200 metres. Straight to the videos, and Penella Miss running second on Saturday, August 16th.
Just in front of Big Caroline, a length and a half to Barracuda Beach, pulling around her heels and setting after them. Vital Art behind those and starting to make ground is Generous Choice as well. And down the outside, Cyclonic Miss is starting to wind up for Pike as they go to the 150. Pernella Miss and Big Caroline joined by Generous Choice. Cyclonic Miss can't get to them. Pernella Miss and Generous Choice. Generous Choice doing a bit the better, reaches the lead. The newcomer Generous Choice beat home Pernella Miss.
It was a good trial there, good race, sorry. It jumped well, obviously, and managed to lead all the way and got pipped by Generous Choice, which we saw come out again on Saturday and jumped as the second favourite there. I think that form can hold up, and I think in a Wednesday meet, Penella Miss is going to be very hard to beat. Brad Parnham on board from barrier 11. Probably won't lead, obviously, from out there. It might just get a nice sit and hope for a bit of luck through the early stages and then kick on late. So I do have number 12, Penella Miss, on top. I was just very happy with that effort. From number 1, Bomber Bay here, Ben Pearce and Ben Patterson riding for him. Barrier 10 again, so out wide, but just really like the trial. It seemed to do it with ease over Chengdu, which was heavily backed when first up last Wednesday, and I think you can run a bit of a race. Number 9, So Who's Harry, trialled well and then was okay first up as well, and I think will improve from that run. And number 11, Multi Magic, Neville Parnham, Chris Parnham riding for his father, and I think again will show improvement from its last first up run. So numbers for me in the second at 12, 1, 9, 11, but very happy to be on Penella Miss.
Well, that Puntathon's gone against your 4 again. He's going for Socially Unique, number 10. First starter from the Durant stable, trialled well, drawn 2, and he loves following informed jockeys, and Joey Azzopardi is certainly that. Race 3 on the card is the Smartline Personal Mortgage Advisors Handicap, scheduled for 2 p.m. It's Australia race 6 on the Singapore card. Good to see the boys from Smartline Mortgage Advisors sponsoring racing. Michael Brennan played for the Eagles, and Matty Brennan, not quite as good, played with me occasionally. Amateurs.
Short.
I think he might have played for East Fremantle occasionally, but certainly Michael Brennan. Speaking of the Waffle, I heard your radio show on the weekend, and you were talking about the Waffle having 11 teams and 2 teams playing and then just missing the finals completely.
Yeah, there's a bit of talk. That was one of the ones that they threw up at the start.
Never
of
heard.
last
Sorry
year.
to cut you out, but never heard so much rubbish.
No, it wasn't us that came up with it. That's all the Waffle, but they've got to do something, don't they, at the moment?
It's well named, isn't it, the Waffle?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's Australia race 6 on the Singapore card. It's over 2,100 metres. We're going to go straight to the videos, and Moe Dancer winning in Northam on the 7th of
In
August.
the straight, they'd balanced at the 400 hardly enough. The leader is Whiting, now releases the brakes on the big fellow Bolting. Bolting comes out after Hartley enough, and it's got a kick. Hartley enough, led by over a length on Bolting, who's flat to the floorboards now. He's taking some time to level off. On the fence, Moet Dancer starting to come at them quickly. Moet Dancer right up on the inside goes to Hartley enough, and Bolting from Varanasi, but Moet Dancer on the rails grabs the lead in the shadows and gets home. Moet Dancer.
Yeah, Moet Dancer, a good win there. Was obviously 7th through the early stages, 11th back at the turn, but ran on really well, kicked strongly down the straight and managed to win in the late stages there. That was 2 runs ago. Last start was 1.5 lengths behind Miss Halloween over the 1600, so it does step up to 2100 as well here. I'm going to go with one that I'm hoping to get a bit of value for, and this horse just hasn't been running like it can if it returns to it, it wins this, but as I said, it's been well off that form. Number 8, Confianza, a horse that's had 41 starts for 3 wins. It's only won the $65,000, but it's been competitive in much stronger fields. Last start, it may have just shown that it was getting back to where it was at 2.5 lengths behind Military Service. That was on a slow 6 as well, and as you mentioned, we haven't had a lot of rain, but with the wind, it might be that sort of dead, but we might push the slow track. We're unsure yet. But I just think Confianza at odds in a pretty weakened field, and I think you'll get $5 for most here. I'd be pretty happy to take Confianza. From the other Fred Kerseys in this, Nunca to Rindez. Last start was 13.5 lengths off Quintessence. Before that, 2 off Backhouse Street and 4 off Miss Radler. That form can hold up with Mitchell Pateman riding as well. It'll only be the 55.5 kilos. So I've got those 2 on top. From number 5, Helitex, was quite impressed with its second last start. It was only a half length behind Miss Halloween at Pinjarra, and then the start before that when it's first up, 1.8 lengths behind Great Odyssey, which of course went out in the Apprentice Cup on the weekend as well. So that sort of form holds up, and William Pike jumping on board, you can't ignore that as well. From number 11, Mystic Dust, one that I've thrown out a few times here for Paul Tapper, Lucas Camilleri riding. It's just an honest type that honest day can sometimes surprise, and you always get odds about. So 8, 6, 5, 11, Confianza hopefully to turn its form around. Yeah, we're at Puntathon's going for Helitex, number 5. Been racing in good form. This field looks moderate to say the least, and has W Pike. Race 4 on the card is Australia Race 8 on the Singapore card. It's the Smart Line Lenders Day Handicap, scheduled for 2:35 p.m. It's for 3-year-olds and upwards, over 1,200 metres. Straight to the videos, and DeAndy's winning last Wednesday over 1,200 metres.
Tracked up in turn by Supposition in the straight at the 350. The director went out after Hurry to Dance. They head He's Our Wally now. DeAndy's called upon. A further 2 behind them. Lost Heritage. Supposition struggling. DeAndy's with 150 from home leads the way from Lost Heritage down the outside, but DeAndy's kept going. Is holding Lost Heritage in the run to the post, and DeAndy's cracks it. DeAndy's a half a length. Lost Heritage. Maybe the director third in the middle. Yeah, it was a good win by DeAndy's there. Money came for it quite late. If you had a look at the form lines, at 1.8 lengths behind Bangkok Express, 0.8 lengths behind Mad Brad going into that race of horse.
Bangkok Express form's been holding up, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, yeah. And Mad Brad as well. Obviously didn't run that well on the weekend, struggled with conditions, but had won 3 in a row before that as well. So the money did come from DeAndy's. It was racing forward and then was able to kick to the line and ended up winning by a half length over Lost Heritage, which is also a good type that returned to a bit of form. I found this one of the harder races of the day, and I couldn't even put DeAndy's in there, which just showed how strong this might be or how even it is. We've gone with number 9, Fairway to Venus. It's a horse I've been on for a little bit here. It won 4 starts ago, then second, third, second, and it's taken some good horses to beat it. Zonte, Magnus Missile was very impressive last start as well. From barrier 8 to 54.5 kilos, I think it'd be quite hard to beat. If it does rain, one that I don't mind, and if it is a bit of a slow track, is Hurry to Dance at number 8. If you have a look at a slow form, 5 starts for a win, a second and a third. Stephen Parnham jumps on board from barrier 3. I think he can get in the ideal position throughout the race and then hopefully kick down the turn. Then I'm going to go with the 2 that speed machines that can show a lot of speed at times. Number 1, Detection here for Adam Durant, Joseph Azzopardi to ride. 57.5 kilos. Shown enough so far in its 2 starts. 4 lengths behind Heavy Set. 3 lengths behind Our Pooh Bear, which you threw out at some lovely odds on a Saturday recently. This is a drop in class. Barrier 1 can probably just jump out of the barriers and lead and step the terms from there. And we know that Joseph doesn't mind doing that. We saw that on Louis last week. And number 2, Mama, again another one that can show plenty of speed with Chris on board. It'll only race with the 58 and only went down by a neck to Stock Trader last start. So those 2 will certainly be battling out in front for speed. 9, 8, 1, 2 for me. Fairway to Venus on top.
Okay, I think Puntathon's got a special here, and you mentioned it from Gate 1, Detection. Joseph as a party, been racing well on Saturdays. That form's going to hold up on a Wednesday. Now, we promote responsible gambling, as always, especially heading into Singapore, but if you do put the house on it, you can remortgage through Smartline Lenders Day Handicap, but only joking. Been racing well on Saturdays. Detection's the Puntathon special for the day.